Hi Kids Bridge, and welcome back to week 4 of our series Blast Off. We're headed back to outer space today, and that's because this month we've been talking about how to launch our faith in Jesus to new heights. In space, astronauts have to wear a lot of special equipment, like helmets and suits and gloves, and of course, space boots. After a long day in space, an astronaut would probably need to sit back, relax, kick off those astronaut boots, and soak their feet in some nice, warm foot bath. Does anyone else want to get their feet soaked in an astronaut foot bath? I do. So let's talk about feet. Have you ever stepped in something really super duper gross? One time I stepped on a slug. It was disgusting. It was so slimy, so squishy, and so gross. I wouldn't want to step in that again. And no one likes to step in gross things, and that's why we wear shoes when we go outside, to keep our feet wet, or to keep our feet from getting dirty and to stay dry. Except if you're one of my kids, they never wear shoes. All this talk about shoes and feet reminds me of our big idea for today. I need your help with our blast off countdown. Are you ready? Good. 3, 2, 1, blast off! Today's big idea is we can serve others. Before we go any further, let's review our memory verse. Our memory verse comes from Psalms chapter 119, verse 105, and it goes like this. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Today we're going to hear about a group of people who all had really dirty feet, and one person, Jesus, who decided to wash their feet for them. Can you believe it? Jesus was washing other people's feet. This story can teach us something important about how we can launch our faith in God to new heights. Our Bible story comes from John 13, verses 1 through 17, and it takes place just before Jesus goes to the cross, and it's referred to as the Last Supper. So sit back and enjoy this short video.
That night, Jesus invited his closest followers, the disciples, to a special dinner.
Hello, welcome, Peter and Andrew, and you too, James, John, Philip and Bartholomew. Hello, Thomas, Matthew, and James. Nice to see you, Thaddeus, Simon, and Judas.
What a long, hot day. I'm tired.
Oh, me too. And my feet are filthy from those dirty streets. I could sure use a bath.
I know. Let's get a servant to wash our feet for us.
Good idea. Jesus, do you know of a servant who can take care of us?
Certainly.
Hey! What are you doing?
I'm washing your feet. Lift, please.
But I didn't want you to do that. I wanted a servant to do it. You're too important, too powerful to kneel before me and wash my feet.
Please, Peter. It's okay. I want to do this. And me too? And you, John. May I?
And so Jesus himself, their Lord and teacher, went around the table with a large bowl of water. He washed everyone's feet until they were all clean.
Even though I'm your Lord, I'm also your servant. I want to take care of you. And I want you to take care of others, too. Now listen to me. I have something very important to tell you tonight. Someone here is going to do something bad to me. Someone is going to betray my trust and love.
Who? Who is it?
Could it be me?
Or me?
Go ahead, Judas. Do what you were going to do. First, I will give thanks. We thank you, God our Father, because you give us bread to eat and wine to drink. Whenever you eat this bread and drink this wine, I want you to remember me.
The disciples didn't understand yet what Jesus was saying, or why Judas had run off. They were confused, but they continued to listen.
This is the last supper I'm going to have with you. I have to go away soon, but don't worry. We'll see each other again, I promise. And I want you to remember, always love one another as I love you.
But we don't want you to go away.
We want you to stay with us. Always.
Do you really have to go?
Yes, but remember what I tell you. I'll be back. Soon we'll be together again.
Is someone trying to hurt you? If so, we'll help you, won't we?
My dear friends, tonight you will be afraid, but everything will be all right. But now I want to go outside and pray. Do any of you want to join me?
I do.
Me too.
You can
Sure,
count on
I'll
me,
go.
Jesus.
Me
Yeah,
too.
me too.
I'll go with
I'll
you.
be right by your
I'll
side.
go too.
All right, then follow me.
Jesus' friends, who we call the disciples, had pretty dirty feet. And that's because people in those days didn't have boots or sneakers or paved roads or even cars or buses or bikes. Instead, they usually wore sandals and either walked or rode animals down a dusty road. And that means that their feet got really, really dirty. Plus, the way people ate meals back then was a little different than we eat today. Instead of sitting at a table with chairs, people would sit or lie on the ground to eat. And so that means your food would be really close to everyone's dirty feet. So it was important to wash your feet before you sat down to eat. Back then, you either washed your own feet or you let the least important person in the room, which was usually the servant, wash them for you. That's why it's so surprising that Jesus decided to wash his friends' feet. Jesus' friends knew that Jesus wasn't the least important person in the room. They knew that he was the most important person in the world. Other than Jesus, who is someone who is really important? Most people think an important person has lots of power and money and servants. Some people in our world today think that important people are people like presidents and kings and queens, famous people, or even rich people. And those people would never have done what Jesus did in this story. And that's because Jesus never acted like an important person. Some people were confused about who Jesus was. They thought that if Jesus was important, he would be acting the way that rich and powerful people acted. Instead of collecting lots of money and building big houses for himself or wearing fancy crowns, Jesus gave it all away. All his stuff, gave it all away. And instead of having lots of servants to do his work for him, Jesus spent his whole life serving others. Why do you think Jesus decided to wash his friends' feet? Maybe because they needed it. And foot washing was gross, but the disciples needed their feet washed. Maybe because he loved them. By washing their feet, Jesus was showing he cared about them so much he would even do something gross to serve them. Maybe because he wanted to set an example. John 13:15 says this. For I have given you an example that you should do just as I have done for you. Do you think that Jesus wants us to wash our friends' feet? Washing your friends' feet could be nice, but that's not exactly what Jesus meant. So why did Jesus wash their feet? Yes, he wanted to show people how we can humble ourselves and serve others. Jesus knew there are all sorts of ways that he can serve and take care of others, and he wanted his friends to take care of others like he had taken care of them. There are so many ways to serve others, and we don't need to all serve in the same way. We all have our own special gifts that God has given us, and so we can all serve differently. Here at the church, you'll see people serving by playing music in the band, reading Bible stories, cleaning up, or greeting you when you come in. There are more ways to serve outside the church too. Helping each other, encouraging each other, sharing with each other, and giving to each other are just a few. Just like Jesus did for his friends, you can serve others too. And this week, I want you to remember how exciting it can be to serve others. When we serve others like Jesus served, we get to see our faith and other people's faith launch to greater heights. Bye, you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next time with a new series.